Hey everyone, I'm Alex.
And I'm Jamie.
And I'm Jamie. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving right into our own backyard, District 5 of South Walton County. That's right, this is the absolute center of gravity for the 30A corridor. We're talking Seagrove, Seaside, and WaterColor. Whether you're a full-time resident showing up to the town meetings, a second home owner, or a really respectful visitor who just loves this stretch of the Florida coast, you already know the magic of this place. Oh, for sure. But you definitely know the frustrations too. Let's be real, this is the busy heart of the coast where a very finite amount of sand meets record-breaking crowds. It's the spot where literally every single pressure point, from bottlenecked traffic and zero parking to trying to preserve the character of our neighborhoods, collides first and hits the hardest. Honestly, just listen to this quote we pulled from a local online forum. It says, "Getting a parking space at high time is as easy as getting into the Masters."
It's kind of funny, but it completely hits the nail on the head. That is the shared reality on the ground right now. Visitors drive down here expecting this incredibly easy stroll to wide-open, pristine beaches, and instead, they hit a massive brick wall of intense parking scarcity and privatized beach accesses.
Exactly. And on the flip side of that, you have longtime residents who are watching their quiet hometown streets just completely transform under the heavy weight of short-term rentals and tear-down and rebuild pressures. Everyone is feeling the squeeze right now. Managing this, it's a really delicate, urgent balancing act. Okay, let's dive into this. To make sense of District 5, we're breaking this explainer down into 3 core pillars. Number 1, the sand.
Number 2, the streets.
And number 3, the neighborhoods. Let's get to work. All right, part 1, the sand. Specifically, access and the law. So if you've ever visited Seaside or WaterColor, you've definitely encountered the patchwork of beach access. We're talking gated beach clubs and wristband-only entries sitting right next to an overwhelming public demand for open beaches. To really understand this fight for public sand, we have to define a term called customary use.
Right. Customary use is basically this long-standing legal concept. It says the public has the right to use the dry sand portion of the beach, so the area above the average high tide line, even if the land itself is technically privately owned. It is the absolute core of the entire 30A beach rights conversation.
And this brilliantly illustrates how things recently changed. In 2025, the Florida legislature completely flipped the script when they passed Senate Bill 1622. Before 2025, state law actually blocked counties from recognizing customary use unless the county went to court and won first.
But this new 2025 law, it restored local authority. Now, local governments can adopt customary use ordinances without getting court approval first. The legal burden completely shifted. Now, private beachfront owners have to be the ones to sue if they want to challenge public access.
Though we have to be realistic here. As Walton County Attorney Clay Atkinson pointed out, this didn't just magically reopen private beaches on day one. What it did was open the legal door for the county to pursue a new ordinance over time. Right, and because those legal battles are super slow, actually creating physical public access points is more important than ever. That brings us to 2 big acronyms every local should know, RBA and TDT. A regional beach access, or RBA, is essentially a large, county-run public entry point to the beach.
And these RBAs are heavily funded by the Tourist Development Tax, or the TDT. That's the local bed tax collected on overnight lodging. So to put that simply, visitor dollars are directly paying to build public beach infrastructure for everyone.
Which leads us to an absolutely massive win for our community. In April 2026, the county opened the brand new Seagrove Regional Beach Access right across from Cafe 30A.
This was an $8.9 million investment, funded entirely by that bed tax. It was literally almost 9 years in the making. We're talking ADA walkovers, restrooms, and a fully staffed lifeguard tower.
It's just huge. It proves to residents that persistent community advocacy actually works, bringing permanent public access right into the heart of Seagrove. Moving on to part 2, the streets. We're getting into transit and trails. Because once you have access to the beach, you have to actually figure out how to get there. And let me tell you, parking across this district is structurally scarce. It really is. Just look at the breakdown. In Seaside, parking at Smillian Circle starts at $10 just for the first 2 hours. Then, right next door in WaterColor, you're looking at around $25 per transaction during the busy season. Meanwhile, down at the new county municipal hubs, it's about $15 a day for non-residents during peak times. And man, when big events roll into town, like the massive Seeing Red Wine Festival in November, this already stressed system gets pushed straight into total gridlock. To manage this crisis, Walton County rolled out a major transit solution. First up, in late 2025, they opened a $5 million transit hub on Highway 393, funded again by the bed tax.
Then, on March 1st, 2026, they launched a free daily beach tram to connect these parking hubs directly to the regional beach access points.
And finally, in April 2026, the county launched its first paid beach parking program at these hubs to ensure the whole system can actually sustain itself financially. It's a massive shift in how we move people around this coast.
So the crucial point is to make sure these precious parking lots actually turn over and aren't just squatted in by people leaving their cars for days. Overnight parking is strictly banned at the municipal hubs.
Oh yeah, and the penalty is steep. $500. The logic here is super simple and totally necessary. Charge for the scarce space, ban the overnight squatting, and use that free tram to get people that last mile to the sand.
But of course, cars aren't the only way people get around here. The paved multi-use path running alongside Highway 30A is honestly one of our signature amenities.
It is, but as this local cyclist frankly noted, this bike path is potentially one of the most hazardous I've encountered. Think about it. With constant driveway crossings, crazy summer congestion, and cars turning right across the trail, safety is a massive, daily concern for families, walkers, and bikers.
And that danger isn't just abstract. The absolute worst pinch point in the district is the Western Lake Bridge crossing near WaterColor. During recent construction, the path actually merged cyclists directly onto the Highway 38 travel lanes, right alongside cars.
That is terrifying.
When you consider that Florida alone recorded around 185 cyclist deaths in 2025, the human stakes of these infrastructure bottlenecks become incredibly clear. Fixing these paths isn't just about convenience, folks. It's quite literally about keeping our community alive.
Which brings us to our final pillar, Part 3, the neighborhoods. Let's talk character and code.
Look, District 5 is a world-class tourist destination, no doubt about it. But it is also somebody's hometown. Locals are increasingly having to fight to maintain that neighborhood charm amid relentless teardown and rebuild pressures.
And the primary shield residents use to defend their hometowns is called RP zoning, or Residential Preservation Zoning. Basically, this is a local legal designation specifically designed to protect low-intensity residential character and keep massive, intense commercial builds off of our quiet, historic streets.
We saw exactly how powerful this can be in February 2025 when the Board of County Commissioners adopted the old Seagrove neighborhood plan with roughly 85% resident support. It fought back against out-of-scale development with some really strict rules.
Yeah, maximum building heights were cut down to 40 feet, side yard setbacks were increased to 7.5 feet.
They put a strict 6-bedroom cap on short-term rentals.
And they're now enforcing strict 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. quiet hours. It was a massive, massive victory for local character.
Let's move to and see how this builds. The county is really placing intense scrutiny on new developments now. The board recently denied large projects like the 30A Surf Club and the proposed Sunliner Diner, directly citing traffic safety and conflicts with that small neighborhood zoning we just talked about.
Right, but at the same time, they still approve projects that actually fit the designated mixed-use codes, like the KF Final Plat. So it really shows a local government increasingly willing to enforce the boundaries of the neighborhood code and actually listen to residents.
A huge part of preserving that neighborhood feel is managing short-term rentals, or STRs. And let me tell you, Walton County does not mess around here. To legally operate an STR, owners have to pay a $300 annual fee, hold a state license, name a local contact who can respond to issues within 1 hour, and adhere to strict occupancy limits.
And if you try to operate unregistered, that is a $500 per day fine, and the county runs a 24/7 hotline just to field those violations.
Okay, so where do we go next in protecting 30A? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the number 23. That is the exact number of new parking spaces created at the $8.9 million Seagrove Regional Beach Access.
In the grand scheme of millions of visitors, sure, 23 spaces won't magically solve the math of District 5's parking crisis, but it represents something so much bigger. It is real, permanent, concrete public access carved right out of the busiest part of the coast.
Absolutely. It proves that tangible wins happen when a community pushes for balance. Which leaves us with the most important question of all. How will you protect the coast you love? Because whether you're a full-time resident showing up to county commission meetings, a second homeowner respecting the short-term rental codes, or a visitor utilizing the new free trams instead of clogging up the streets, preserving the magic of Seagrove, Seaside, and WaterColor requires all of us to actively participate. Stand formed, get engaged, and let's make absolutely sure this incredible stretch of 30A remains a place we can all proudly share. Thanks for joining us on This Explainer. Keep protecting the coast you love.